Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Happy Halloween, everybody. We got our pumpkin here to be festive a little bit. That's all we got. We didn't really decide to do costumes or anything. Nothing really fun or anything. You can also see that I'm in a different location, a different spot, because today we have on Sam Fretto, who we've asked you to come on now a couple times, and then just schedules just didn't work out, or
it worked out today though.
It worked out today though.
We're lucky I'm here, man.
Lucky you're here. We are. Thank Appreciate you again for coming on. You're part of the sports department here. You're
I just do stuff with sports. I do sportscasts, work the games.
What grade are you in?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
I thought you meant like a specific.
So wrong.
I am a junior.
It's
like that sometimes.
It is. It's like that. You're a junior here. You're at the sports department here. You call some what? Basketball, football, baseball?
So I haven't. I'll be doing baseball, softball, basketball. Probably work halftime show, sideline reporting for football. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Doing some things. We've talked sports with you for a while now, just randomly on the day that we're all just kind of chilling in the radio station. So I'm glad you're on. Glad your opinion is going to be here. But just got to ask, like I always do, how was your guys' weekend, everyone?
I'm down to argue. Just to let you know.
Okay.
I'm in an arguing mood.
We can argue.
That's how Myron's weekend went. Sam, how did your weekend go?
Oh man, it was great. Friday night, watched some movies down here in the basement of WONC.
Nice.
Same thing Saturday, had some fun, did some things,
Nice. I stayed at home all weekend for one. No, I had a softball tournament actually. Went pretty well, actually.
Yeah. Did you hit
nice.
Did you hit one out the park?
I did actually. It was an out though because we only get one home run for the game. Yeah, there's restrictions on home runs. Yeah, it's weird on men's softball. You only get restrictions on home runs, and then you have one person in your lineup that can hit unlimited home runs.
And you're not that guy?
I'm not that guy. I'm a single.
Tough.
I'm a singles guy. I hit singles. That's all I do. But when I got up for my first at bat, our guy who hit our only one home run for the team, pretty much, he hit it. It went out. It was nice. It was great. We tied the game up. I come up, and I just didn't even get all of it. I thought I hit it, and I went, well, this is going to be either a fly out to the warning track, or hopefully it's going to hit the gap and, get down, and it just kind of kept sailing, and it went over the fence, and I was like, wow, that's an out. All right, great. Good job.
What a way to go.
Good way to go. But we ended up winning one game, lost two, though. We faced the top two teams in the tournament, sadly, that we lost to, so it's unfortunate. It was unfortunate. But we did see some great competition. We saw the guy, every at-bat I saw, he hit a home run.
Wow.
Every at bat.
Wow.
So I guess that was the guy that could hit unlimited.
Yeah, that was the guy that could hit unlimited. And when I said that he could hit him, he hit him about 420 feet.
See.
On a 300-foot field. 300-foot field. Hit him 420 feet.
So could you imagine not having unlimited home runs? In your first at bat, you get all of it.
And you knock it
it's a home run. You go up your second at bat, you take it 450 again, and it doesn't count.
You got to be strategic. You got to know where to place the ball.
I'm just bunting down the baseline every time.
Yeah, that's how my weekend went. So that's how the softball tournament went. It was pretty good, pretty fun. Hopefully, get to play in more of those. But let's move on. Let's start this off. North Central Corner, where we always start, boys.
I got a question before we start on North Central Corner. Yeah. Do you think I can hit that bullseye?
No, not even that. There's for anyone referencing, there is a dartboard on the wall over here that we kind of just chill. We throw darts at. Me and Myron tried, I think, last week to hit the dartboard a couple times. I did pretty good. Myron did not.
Oh, here he goes.
He is now going to try to hit the dartboard here. I wish I had video of this. Where's my phone at?
All right, I got $10. He doesn't do it.
Are you not going to hit?
Do this while we're sitting, okay? I'm going to do this while we're sitting. Let's, try something different. Spice it up a little bit.
All right, let's go.
Everybody that can see, you can see. You ready? Mm-hmm. And it did not work out. So I'm down to open up North Central Corner.
Yeah, let's go with North Central Corner. So that's how it went. I'm putting the pumpkin down. Let's get serious. We'll start. Where do we want to start, boys? What sport do we want to talk about?
Women's cross country.
Women's cross country.
This women's team took second in the CCIW championship, which is still outstanding. No matter how you see it, you do a sport like this when it involves a lot of running, you take second. It's a still outstanding opportunity. They're gonna have definitely some CCIW honors here. You could tell, and you also have a the Whedon girl beat it in 22 minutes and 27 seconds. That's pretty fast.
Yeah, I know that we all don't like running here. It just seems like the vibe in this room. We all don't like running.
Nope, not at all.
Especially early morning.
You see this
especially-
belly I carry?
Especially early morning.
No.
I mean, you're a defensive lineman for a reason. But we still got to give props to them because we talked about how this cross country team and men's and women's too, how good they were and how dominant they have been for years and years and years. You talk about the amount of national championships here for the men's club and for the women's club. They are dominant, and sometimes they don't get the best of the day. Sometimes they get beat, and anybody can get beat on any single day. But this women's cross country team taking second is something to really recognize and something to kind of these girls really dominate.
You know what's crazy? The winner of this race won in 22 minutes and 27 seconds. Our first woman to cross the line in seventh had a time of 22 minutes and 59 seconds. So this was a close race if you actually look at it. It's almost 30 seconds difference.
That's how it always is with the running, though. You look at marathons, even track or anything like that. It's always tenths of a second sometimes just being the deciding factor there. So I mean, again, props to this Cardinals team. Wheaton, of course, is a really, really good athletic school as well, and
Yeah, we lost out of the championship by 3 seconds.
Wow. 3 seconds.
3 seconds, but we did get second place within a second. Wheaton did have the total time of 1 hour, 55 minutes, and 48 seconds. And then our Central had 1 hour, 58 minutes, and 55 seconds. So, a tough battle, tough, hard defeat there. But, second place is still nothing to really hang your head on. Men's wise, we talked about how dominant they have been. They continue their dominance. 48th straight CCIW title. I mean, why would you
That's ridiculous.
I mean,
48. Can we do some quick math really quick? 2022 minus 48. What is that?
Math is not my strong suit. If you listen to any of
I
the
haven't
broadcasts,
taken math class since I don't know when.
I'm with you. My senior year was my last.
If you listen to any broadcast here at WONC, you know that simple math is
1974. 1974 is the
have
answer.
not lost conference since 1974.
My mom was 1 year old.
My dad wasn't even born yet.
I don't even want to do the math.
Holy cow. That's crazy. 48 straight conference championships is
Love the uniforms, by the way.
I don't think any other program in any sports has ever done.
I don't know. It's unprecedented.
It's unreal. And that's why we have 40 national championships, and all of them are practically in running.
I will say,
Pretty much.
do you see the uniforms here, though? They look like a barbershop quartet. I love it. I love it.
The pinstripes are great.
I love them.
Great outfit.
Absolutely.
I feel like, what if, Myron, what if you had those as your guys' uniforms?
Low key, it depends on what font and design and color you put on the front for a jersey.
We got some new designs for next year.
All right,
That's
we got
possible.
some.
I would like that. Actually,
Maybe some a special day to honor.
Yeah.
Cross country, men's cross country.
I could see you guys wearing those in the homecoming game next year.
That'd be crazy. Oh, see it versus Whedon.
Yeah.
They gonna walk on the field. What are they wearing? Pinstripes.
Maybe
It's an intimidation tactic.
Maybe a warm up. Some warm up stuff.
Nah, I couldn't warm up in that.
You couldn't warm up in that.
I think they're gonna laugh at us if we warmed up.
Yeah, but then you come out and beat them by 20.
Hey, no cap.
Hey, man.
But let's just move right into football. We got a lot to talk about in professional world, so let's just move right into football. 59-0 Myron against North Park. We talked about how North Park's not great. They're 0-8, 0-7.
Actually, listen, just because
they haven't won a game this year, Myron.
Listen,
Let's talk about.
if you look at this box score, you would think this game was a shootout. We had a total of 402 yards. They had a total of 314. You would think this game.
They had 45 rushing yards, dude.
I know, but look at the time of possession. They held the ball for 38 minutes. We held the ball for 21.
That's 'cause
you
you
would
guys
think
would
that they
score
would have
3 plays.
dominated this game, but they just didn't. Their offense is really good. The two teams before us, they put up 34 points on. We just have a good defense, and we've shut out the last 4 teams we played.
I think good defense is understating it. 4 shutouts in a row. We need to mention that.
That's never happened in school.
That's never happened. I think this defense is more than good. I think it's special. It's a historic defense.
I mean,
I appreciate that.
You kind of put it in the great perspective there. I mean, our offense, I know, has been, dominant, putting up those points. You got to have a good offense to put up those type of points, but also holding your opponent to 0 points in the last 4 weeks, and just the amount of, only one team has gotten to double digits. Two teams, but 2 teams have gotten to double digits this entire year.
It was Wabash
and Wheaton, and everyone else, it's either scored a touchdown or 0. So
I think we could have shut out Wabash. We should have shut out Elmhurst. And I think the only team that probably could have and should have scored on us so far this year should have been Wheaton. But I think we could have shut Wheaton out too.
Yeah.
But it's just the luck of the draw and the luck of the day. Sometimes you get lucky and sometimes you don't get lucky, and sometimes you play great football. And I think, like you said, we've been playing great football lately.
Well, that Elmhurst game, you're talking about you guys should have shut them out. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure I was sideline reporting that game. They scored like a last-second touchdown in like a last heave attempt. Like, I was surprised they even scored. It was very, very cool.
It was a Hail Mary pass to the back of the
end zone. It was the back of the end zone.
Left side of the end zone. Yeah. And he got lucky.
He got lucky, caught it.
It happens. But this week we have Illinois Wesleyan, another good football team. They're not bad. I know they're not. Their record
Cardinals.
doesn't show that.
They're not North Central.
No, not at all. But I feel like they're still going to be a great opponent to play. It's a big rivalry between us. We always talk about the Wheaton game, but I think this is another rivalry, but within the program and between the two programs for sure.
This will be an interesting game to see.
Look at it here. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off here. A rivalry, head-to-head, 30 wins to 38. Illinois Wesleyan's up, but
currently on an 11-game win streak.
11-game win streak.
Yeah, the time that Illinois Wesleyan, there was a time where Illinois Wesleyan went on a run for a while. Same thing with Augustana in the CCIW. Now it's North Central's turn. And, you guys are dominating day in and day out. I don't expect anything less from that against Illinois Wesleyan. You are traveling to Illinois Wesleyan, so that means what? You're leaving on Friday?
I have no clue. I can't confirm anything. They don't tell us that until like 2 days before.
2 days before. I hope for safe travels.
Thank you.
I know it's a very boring bus ride down there, especially with all the cornfields being.
Nothing longer than the WashU drive. So
what'd you guys do on that WashU drive?
Sleep.
All right, fair enough. All right, simple answer there. You guys, anybody brought any? Card games or anything like that?
No. I think we should, but we're all too busy locked into the game, being ready to dominate the next day. So,
gotcha. Let's move on to women's soccer. We talked to Elle Sutter last week. Great conversation there. Good conversation there, talking about the women's soccer program and what they've been accomplishing this entire year and what she's been accomplishing this entire year. And like I said, pretty much, she earned all CCIW first team selection. So he was one of the 4 to receive some honors for CCIW. Myron, who was the rest there?
You got Morgan Verderben. She also earned CCIW second team, along with junior for Sarah Andre. I'm definitely saying her last name.
Sarah Andre.
Yeah.
She also earned first team all CCIW this year as well. And then Ellie Lockbaum. I think I said that right?
I want to apologize for definitely saying your names wrong. I'm very bad with names, so I want to just say that right away.
She earned the Defensive Student Athlete of the Week. We talked about how Elle won that a couple times this year for offense. She's won it now for defense. I believe she's won it now.
She won it for the year, Student Athlete of the Year.
Defensive Student Athlete for the year. So she was all pretty much the best defender.
Mm-hmm. Along with being CCIW first team as well.
Yeah. So, again, a couple of honors there. So, congratulations to the girls. Congratulations to them and this entire soccer program, who hopefully will be looking to dominate in the CCIW tournament this upcoming
today.
Yeah, starting today.
They play Wheaton today in the semifinals, so it's a good opportunity for them to take a domination and show that they deserve to hold on to that title.
It's kind of great. You talk about getting that second place against in the conference allows you to get that bye. with
Right.
Illinois Wesleyan. And so they get also a home field game as well for the semifinal. They face Wheaton, who earlier in the year, they ended up tying 0-0. So this is going to be a very close game, very good game. I know that we talked to Elle, she hates ties. And so I know that entire team, really wants to put a good showing against Wheaton and show that, this is a team that can potentially, like they have against Elmhurst and North Park, and put up 6 goals and put up those numbers and do very well and go all the way to the CCIW championship game on Saturday.
Well, I don't blame them for hating ties, because I know there was at one point this season where they had like 3 or 4 ties in a row. I looked at their record, and they had 5 ties total on the season, which got to be pretty annoying.
Their last game was a tie, so I know that hurt. I know that they felt that one just a little bit. So
their conference record was 4-0-4. 4 wins, 0 losses, and 4 ties.
So I mean, they're a very tough group. They're a very good group. So hopefully, again, that they go on this run that we talk about, and hopefully they dominate again. They went to the CCIW championship game last season, so hopefully they can get there again. I'm gonna guess they faced Illinois Wesleyan. I mean, they dominated all year long, and they were number 1 there in that. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
I was going to say division again. I don't know why division is popping in my head, but it's definitely conference. They've been dominating all conference. And so they got the number 1 seed. So hopefully, again, they can dominate there. But moving over to men's soccer, who they got a couple accolades.
This men's soccer team just
They're good.
Swept all 4 major awards in the CCIW. Student Athlete of the Year for, like, in general, just being the best student athlete on the soccer field. Then you have Defensive Student Athlete of the Year, and you also have Freshman Newcomer of the Year, along with Coach of the Year. And this men's soccer team swept all 4 of them. I don't know what you say that.
I mean, this was a dominant program. They won the CCIW again. They went 14-0-4 this year. They have
no games lost.
No games lost.
They're 12th ranked in the country for a reason. Number 1 in the CCIW.
They are the top team, and we talked about last year as well that this men's soccer team wasn't ranked for the longest time, and then this year they were back and forth of rankings, and it kind of being dropped, it kind of not really being shown and recognized for a while, for the start of the season at least, and then they got jumped all the way up to 12th, and so they've been dominating. They're the reason why they're the best team in the country. They face Carthage tonight. I believe they're the first game before women's tonight, I believe. I am correct.
Both teams do play tonight,
yeah,
yes.
Women's soccer goes at 8:00, but men's soccer goes at 5:45. They again face in the semifinals because getting the number 1 seed. They have home field advantage as well. They get a bye. They get to face Carthage College, who earlier this year they defeated 3-1 at Carthage. So now I get to face them at home. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be good.
The 4 names I didn't get to mention was junior midfielder Aiden Westenberg. He is the Student Athlete of the Year. Goalkeeper junior Sid Marquette is Defensive Student of the Year. Freshman Newcomer of the Year is Mateo Innocent, and head coach Enzo Fascino is the CCIW Coach of the Year.
Yeah, so congratulations to all those for getting those awards. They all well deserved. This program is going to be dominant for years and years to come. I know that this is going to also help in recruiting aspect as well, and just kind of having that sort of good sort of vibe. I mean, for this program, you talk about another program that's going to be dominant, like baseball, basketball, football, cross country, right? Just add it to the list.
Continue to add it.
Before we move on to men's basketball and talk about their upcoming season, we're going to talk about women's volleyball. They finished up the season 14-10, 4-4 in conference play. This team was off to a rolling start to start the year, and they hit a slow point. They lost 3 straight games, and then they ended up bouncing back and winning 3 straight, right? So they have dominated a lot of aspects in this year, but going kind of in that sort of later run there, Myron, they had 3 straight losses, and they at least ended off the year with a W on senior day.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough losing to U Chicago in 3 sets, losing to Milliken in 3 sets, and then losing to North Park in 4. This is definitely a big ego booster going into CCIW tournament play. Can't wait to see what this momentum brings into CCIW play as they look to continue to hopefully turn it around and take the CCIW crown.
Yeah, hopefully that this is going to be a very good booster. I mean, you need to win that final game, I feel like, right, Sam? You just need to win that final game.
I definitely believe that. Those are, like I said before, big momentum boosters. You never know where your team turns if you lose that last game. You never know what your mindset of the team is. And I feel like that win shows that this team is determined to continue to roll into the CCIW tournament and getting ready to hopefully make a run.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully that run does happen. But let's move over to the preseason coaches poll. The preseason poll for CCIW for men's basketball. Men's basketball right around the corner here, men's and women's. But men's basketball poll came out, and they are picked to finish second in the CCIW. Again, this team was last year led by the Helwig twins, or Helwig, sorry, they're not twins, brothers. They're not twins, they're brothers.
With Blaze.
With Blaze as well as being that third guy there. And so this team really dominated this entire, the big three that they had. And so hopefully they continue that momentum going into this season as well. I know that for this year, I don't know if Matt has come back. I believe it is just the one Helbig brother.
Ethan?
Yeah, Ethan.
That's interesting.
Because I don't know if Blaze and Matt
I don't
came
think
back.
Blaze can come back. I think Matt had an eligibility year. I don't know for sure. Their roster isn't out yet, so
the roster is going to have like a little shake-up. You got to find those points somewhere, right? So you got to see what kind of depth North Central has. One thing I was looking at, which was interesting with the coaches poll, so they obviously have the rankings, but then they have also first place votes. North Central only received one of the first place votes, and they're actually higher by 2 total points than Elmhurst. Elmhurst has 2 first place votes somehow, which I found to be interesting.
Well, Elmhurst played in the national championship game last year.
Right.
And I'm surprised that they're third in our conference. I thought they would be first.
Well, they're tied with Wheaton, which I find interesting. But like I said, you see, they have more first place votes, yet we're still somehow ranked higher. So I don't know what went on there with the rankings.
That's because more teams put us 2.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like that's kind of.
And if I'm not mistaken, all coaches polls, you can't vote for yourself.
No, so whoever voted for us as that first seed is either is one of these other teams for the CCIW. But I mean, Illinois Wesleyan, they were dominant last year. They were very good last year. They are well deserved to be picked to win that CCIW. But us being second means that we got some guys. Hopefully that will step up. Hopefully we'll dominate there. I mean, anything could happen, right? It's the beginning of the season. Anything can happen. We're going to talk about NBA here in a second. Anything could happen in basketball. But yeah, their season kicks off this November 11th, I believe, is the first game. November 11th, they face off against University of Dubuque in the Carroll University Pioneer Tip-Off Classic. And so they have a very good there. I'm also kind of upset they did not get one of the D1 versus D3 games this year. Illinois Wesleyan got one, but we were not at one of those Division III schools that ended up getting a D1.
It's all right.
Was it just Illinois Wesleyan?
I believe it was Illinois Wesleyan in North Park.
Okay.
It's all right.
North Park ended up getting one.
Them D1 schools don't want to see us anyway. It's all right.
Well, you think we can beat them?
DePaul.
We would have put them in a blender so fast they would lose. Yes, I said it. We will put you in a blender.
We want to smoke with Sister Jean.
I'm down. I mean, I think I believe Wheaton also got one. But I know that if we go on a run this year, probably next year we'll see that D1 versus D3.
I
Hopefully
hope so.
we get it at our place, but I don't think
that'd be crazy.
I don't think it would happen.
Especially if it's a good D1 school. Mm-hmm. Oh, that'd be crazy.
Loyola College comes out here. I guess that's it for anything else for North Central Sports, or we want to move on to the professional.
Who won March Madness this past year?
I don't remember.
I actually don't remember either.
We want Gonzaga. Let's go.
All right.
Whoa, we gonna get put in the blender. Oh.
Yeah, I wonder what that spread and money line would be.
I know Gonzaga didn't win it,
but let's move on to professional sports. Let's start with the breaking news of the week for Chicago Bears fans. At least the biggest move, I believe this is.
Definitely.
Yeah, Roquan Smith.
This hurt my heart.
This hurt a little bit.
I'm very happy. It was Kansas. That's right.
You're very happy. I'm indifferent about it. Myron is upset about it. Roquan Smith was traded to the Baltimore Ravens.
For a
Yes, sir.
second and a fifth round pick.
Great deal. Good job, Ryan Poles. I want to congratulate you right now. I will look at every one of the cameras here.
It's a joke.
You're doing a great job, Ryan. Keep it up.
That's a joke,
Before
Ryan.
we get into anything else, they also traded Robert Quinn, who happened to be very close friends with Roquan Smith was
yep.
close friends with Robert Quinn.
I'm okay with trading that old guy.
He got very emotional with it, and Roquan's now with the Ravens. Robert Quinn's going with the Eagles. Both have a chance to go win a Super Bowl this year. Both teams are very good this year.
Yep.
I know that Roquan's going to help tremendously on that Ravens defense.
Arguable.
They are, well...
Did you say arguable?
They are...
yeah.
Well, if you think about it, the Ravens are one of the worst second-half teams in football.
Yeah.
Right? They suck in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Their defense absolutely blows. All right?
Yeah, it does.
Can you say that on the podcast?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Blows?
when it comes...
Blows.
Yeah.
No.
Fine. Their defense sucks. All right,
I mean,
let's
you
just
can say
blatantly say it.
blows.
Let's just-
You
I
can
mean,
say blows if you're allowed to. I just wasn't sure. I was like,
As long as you're not blatantly on her cursing. Like,
yeah, Roquan is going to very deeply help this team. I know his PFF grade 50, terrible, but he's second in tackles, second
Okay.
in
volume
total,
stat. That's because nobody
total
else on the Bears can
tackles,
tackle.
and first, I believe, in another statistics addict category that I just blatantly lost my train of thought because you were talking about how bad the whole defense was. Boys, first off, I want to get Myron's thoughts on it first before Sam goes into this because he's kind of been chirping a little bit. Roquan Smith dealt to the Ravens for a second and a fifth. First off, I know you don't like the move. You wanted to pay the man,
I did.
but
All right.
he gets dealt.
I'll tell you why. The last 4 years, Roquan Smith has done his job. He has played exceptionally well. Everybody's gonna be like, look at his PFA grade. That doesn't matter.
PFF.
PFF. See, look, they correcting me right now.
Pro Football Focus.
And that's the dumbest stuff people has done is put a number on something. Because if you think about it, his production grade, he is leading the team in tackles. Okay. Does the rest of the team probably suck? Yes. But he has dominated his position since he's been here. I see his numbers are competing with people at the top of the league that are getting paid way more than him. And no one can exclude that. Now, the Bears not wanting to pay him is a selfish move, but it's also something for the long term. This is why they traded him. And I see what he's doing. He's trying to build for the future because he doesn't want to pay anybody, and he has $135 million in cap space.
Yeah, a lot of cap space. By the way, the Baltimore Ravens, at least for their side of it, they wanted to go after Bobby Wagner in late March. We're close to landing him, and then he ended up going to the Rams. So this kind of helps out in that sort of hole that they wanted to fill. Roquan Smith is also second most tackles in the NFL with 606 since he entered the league in 2018, trailing only to Bobby Wagner at 656. This trade, by the way, was reported by Jay Glazer, and then the second and fifth was reported by Adam Schefter. So shout out to those guys for beating the punch of everybody else. But yeah, Roquan Smith, again, leads the NFL with total tackles, 83. Is third in solo tackles at 52. And and as well as I believe he's like up there for tackles for loss as well. Those are the stats that I was trying to remember off the top of my head. But I mean, 2.5 sacks and an interception this year. I mean, all those stats combined and everything else is pretty good for Roquan Smith. But I mean, if you didn't want to pay the man, why didn't you just trade him earlier in the year? Probably could have gotten a better deal for him.
Probably not. I mean, I don't think he was worth much more than a second-round pick. You're not going to be trading a first-round pick for a middle linebacker.
At the beginning of the year, he potentially could have been ranked as a third-round guy, as a third-round pick, like traded for a third-round pick because you didn't know what the production was he was going to have. He's in a contract year. You don't know how well he's going to play. It's a rental, right? that's what you seem like as a rental is a 3rd round pick, a 5th round pick, right? Something of that nature. So to see him have the production he did, it kind of upped his trade value maybe a little bit to get that 2nd round pick. We have no idea where that's going to land. We're going to wait all the way till April to find out where that pick's going to land. But I still think, we've hit on Brisker in the 2nd round. So 2nd round so far of picking, on the plus side there.
Kyler
on the good
Gordon
side.
has stepped up a little bit too. So he's not as good as everybody say he is. I think he's got to take some time to develop, but he's going to get there. But Brisker,
he's been much better.
Dog.
Brisker's really
been a
good.
dog.
Kyler Gordon's been getting better. I was really upset with him at the beginning of the year. He's starting to play better.
I think I'm at the time where the Bears should just trade Bojack too. So
No, they shouldn't do that.
So now, before we get into any other players,
Yes.
Sam, what thoughts on the trade? You loved it.
All right.
You loved it.
I want you to do something for me really quick. Can you go ahead and look at the because this may change my opinion a little bit.
Okay.
Go look at middle linebacker tackle for loss rankings because you said he might lead the league in that. I don't know if he does.
Lead the league, but I think he could have been up there. So
well, I mean, that,
we're
there's
just
a
gonna
difference
look at
there.
line.
So
yes.
I will say this: tackles, yes, they are important. However, it's a volume stat. Having more doesn't necessarily mean you're really good at your job. The Bears defense, you and I both know this. Nobody on that defense tackles, okay? He's the only one out there making tackles. That doesn't make him exceptionally great at his job. The Bears' run defense is poor. The Bears' tackling is poor. All of those cumulative stats are because everybody else on the defense can't play well.
Doing their job.
I'm not
he's doing his
saying
job.
Roquan Smith is bad. What I am saying is he was not worth the money that he wanted. He was not worth $20+ million a year. He wanted to reset the market with his contract, and that would have been a detrimental move if Ryan Poles pulled the trigger and gave him the money he wanted. He is not worth that kind of money. I don't think he's a top 3 linebacker in the league. I think he is very overrated, and I think he benefits from being on this horrible Bears team that nobody tackles on.
I mean, we're about to find out how good he really is. He's going to play for a different team. But if you're going to say that, I think this Ravens defense is the same way. They don't know how to tackle.
So Roquan, by the way, has 4 tackles for loss.
Yes, I saw that.
Isn't really ranked up there as
yes.
as higher because
They don't put
granted,
him
it
in.
also talks about like outside linebackers as well. Within
Okay.
outside linebackers,
They have a lot edge
more.
rusher that could right.
They
Absolutely.
have a lot more.
The Bears don't even put him in predicaments to make plays like that half the time because, like you said, their D-line sucks. They're not good. But he's making these tackles from his linebacker position, 5 yards from the line of scrimmage.
I saw multiple times in the Bears game yesterday where Tony Pollard cooked him. There was one time on the goal line in particular. If you're getting
Tony
cooked at the
Pollard's
goal
a
line by
running.
Tony Pollard,
Like, run him over?
yes. He didn't shoot the gap correctly, and Tony Pollard
You know
made a
why he didn't
miss.
shoot the gap
He's on
correctly?
his
Because the
back.
guy in front of him
and he's
didn't
on
do
his
his
back,
job.
reaching out for Pollard while he's scoring another touchdown.
Because the guy in front of him
I
didn't do
remember
his
that
job.
play. I remember that play. Roquan did not shoot the gap wrong. He actually shot the gap right. Tony Pollard made a cutback once he got into the hole, and he made a cutback up the seam into the middle of the field. Roquan was trying to stop. There was also a blocker. The guard was coming up to the second level, and he was trying to avoid the guard as well because Tony Pollard was technically supposed to run towards the outside backer through the 3-hole. Through the 3-hole, he's trying to run to the outside linebacker there.
I got something.
And then as well as he cut back up to the middle of the field, Roquan was barreling down, trying to avoid a defender as well. If you saw, he got pushed as well, trying to tackle Tony Pollard. He ended up like wrapping up his legs, but again, Tony Pollard was moving his legs very well that day, and he just kind of dove right into the end zone, kind of scored a touchdown. So I will have to say, deny that fact. He did
guy
very
in
good
front
on
of
that
him
play.
didn't
It's
do his
one
job.
play. Now, understand, it is one play, okay?
So he didn't make the tackle is what you're telling me?
How are you supposed to make the tackle?
I just described the entire play to you.
All right, whatever.
All right. But understand, there's a lot of things that go into the fact, okay?
Yes,
this dude
absolutely.
is not, 300 pounds with arms the size of our entire bodies that can wrap up single arm tackle Tony Pollard running full speed through a hole. Nobody really much in the NFL can really do that, okay? There's not one person in the NFL that you can name off the top of your head that would
Aaron
be able
Donald.
to do that.
Via Veda.
I'm talking about middle linebackers.
Oh,
Fred Warner.
no.
No.
Fred is not coming
no.
in the hole and grabbing you one arm.
Especially diving to the side trying to grab someone with one arm.
No.
All right. There's a lot of there's a lot. All right. That's a play in general. I
All right,
understand
yeah,
that's a play in general.
absolutely.
You can also look at a lot of other plays. He did miss a lot of tackles yesterday. He only had 5 tackles yesterday. He missed a lot of tackles a couple weeks ago. Right. There is definitely downsides to being an NFL player at the overall day.
I will say this, and this was said on Twitter by somebody, I forgot who. When the Bears defense shows up, it's because Roquan Smith is playing well. When he's not playing well, the Bears defense is awful, and you saw it yesterday.
I will have to agree with that.
Huh?
I will have to agree with that.
Oh, I thought you said disagree.
No, I say agree.
The Bears gave up 49 points to the Cowboys on Sunday, and Roquan Smith, you yourself said it, he played awful yesterday.
Did not play good.
So if it's about the consistency thing, because he's been very inconsistent. That's one thing for sure throughout his 4 years in the NFL. He has not been consistent. In my opinion, his best year was his rookie season.
But has he played on a good team since he's been in the league?
2018 was
his rookie season.
And 2019 when they were mid, but they were still a really, really good defense.
He only played 12 games in 2019.
Every defense has a good offense. 2018 is evident of that.
2018 wasn't a good offense.
That was their best offensive performance they've had in years.
Yeah.
Is what I mean by that. But the Bears have not been good since then. Eddie Jackson has been bad. If you want to say about play, Eddie Jackson has been bad. This is the first time
since 2018
that he's been good. Like back to consistently. Yeah. Roquan Smith has been that guy consistently since Eddie Jackson has not been.
No, you're right. Eddie Jackson has not been. Actually, up until this offseason or up until the season has started, I wanted Eddie Jackson off of the Bears because he was so bad. 2019 was a horrible performance. 2020 was even worse. And 2021, I was just about done with him.
Yeah, I think everyone was in the city of Chicago, and then he finally he's so far having a very good year.
Having a great year
this
so far.
year.
I'm very
especially,
happy.
I think that the thing is, though, he's finally having a good year because of Jaquan Brisker. He has another guy to the side of him that plays like him, and he understands how he plays, right? That's a very good thing. You have to be on a football field and you have to drop back in coverage and you have to, or you're going to barrel down and try to, control that 15-yard pass, right? You have to be able to be okay with Brisker being back there, right? And not be worried about it. So having that feel and sort of that confidence with him is very good. And that's why he's having such a great year. But to go back on this Roquan, so far this year, he has had 9 total tackles against 9 and 7. 9 total tackles, 7 solo against 49ers opening week. Then 11 and 5 against the Packers, 16 and 6 against Houston, 10 and 8 versus the Giants, 8 and 5 against Minnesota, 12 and 9 against Washington, 12 and 8 versus New England, and then 5 and 4 last week against Dallas. So you see in there's a little bit of drop off.
That's the first game he's not had more than 6 tackles.
I will. Still, here's the problem with that. So those bigger numbers you were looking at, that Texans game. What do the Texans do? They don't pass the ball. They run it. When you play the more run-heavy teams, you're going to be getting more tackles. It's all about stopping the pass. And, I mean, I won't call him an awful coverage linebacker because he has his moments, but I don't know if he's that, all-around guy that I think the Bears are looking for anyway. I'm personally not sure he even fits what the Bears want.
You make a team one-dimensional. A lot of the time in the NFL now it's different because back in the day it used to be stop the run, you win the game.
Yeah, right.
But now it's stop the pass, you win the game because you're
playing cover 2 all game trying to stop the deep ball.
Yeah, but I feel like if you make a team one dimensional and you force them to throw the ball, it does give you that opportunity to see how good you are in the pass coverage. But sometimes these players are making plays in the zone game where it's supposed to be open pockets. So they're not, him playing linebacker, he's not going to make every play. Now, if he's in the right spot at the right time, he's going to make the play. But if he's playing in a zone where that quarterback knows he's sitting in his zone, he's going to dump it to
That's
where he's
how zone
there.
works, right? Yeah. But I think so when you were talking about his PFF grade earlier and how you're like, oh, it's a bunch of garbage. They also take that into consideration. You can break down run coverage versus pass coverage, that type of stuff. And I would guarantee you that his run grade is really good, but his pass coverage probably isn't that high. And what I'm trying to say is, I don't know if you have that offhand or not. Mm-mm. And all I'm trying to say is that
I gotta pay for that. I really don't.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't either. I just don't think Roquan is the type of guy that you pay that amount of money to that he's looking for. And I think this trade benefits both sides. Roquan can go try to contend on the Ravens, and now the Bears have future assets for hopefully maybe a wide receiver, maybe a DJ Moore to help Justin Fields develop.
You do have to put in the aspect of getting those future assets. So you could trade for DJ Moore with that second round pick and add that to a value of him. You can go ahead and be able to trade maybe 2/3 because now you have 2 seconds. There's a lot more that can go into it. Let's, I guess, just dive right into the aspect of the aspect of just picks, I guess, in general, and games. We could talk about some games back and forth. We can just talk about a little bit. Let's go with the picks. We haven't done this in a while, Myron.
I'm ready.
You ready?
We're gonna do rap. We go rapid fire though.
We're gonna rapid fire it. Okay.
Let me pull it up on
NFL picks.
Yeah.
Yep. NFL picks. We'll start
All
with
right.
Thursday night football. Philadelphia, Houston. Everyone. Philly.
Yeah, it's got to be Philly.
That's an easy one. Los Angeles Chargers versus the Atlanta Falcons.
Chargers.
I'm gonna go Atlanta.
What? I don't even want to argue over it.
I'm gonna go Chargers as well.
Yeah, even though the Chargers.
Wait, did they have a bye last week?
The Chargers?
Yeah, they did.
All right, let me go Chargers. Never mind, they had a bye. I like teams off the bye. Miami, Chicago. Bear down.
I'm going Chicago, but I almost just chose Miami. But
Gotta go Bear
Dolphins.
down.
Sorry, guys. I'm a Bears fan, but
No, you're not a Bears fan.
It's
I'm
the
always
Dolphins.
picking the Bears, no matter. I don't care what.
You're not a
week it
Bears
is.
fan.
Listen, Tua is gonna
You're not a Bears
dice
fan.
up that defense.
Carolina at Cincy.
Cincinnati.
I would pick Carolina this week if they weren't facing a very good team. In
Beer Belly
Cincinnati.
isn't even playing, so.
Huh?
Beer Belly.
No, he's not. It's PJ Walker, who had a great throw last week, by the way, to DJ
That
Moore.
was a
heck
great-
of a throw.
Speaking of that, Atlanta Falcons sort of.
Do you have DJ Moore on your
versus
fantasy team?
Carolina.
I got Jalen Waddle.
Was that? Would
Was
you
that-
throw that flag?
What flag?
Would you throw that flag?
He took
against
off his
DJ?
helmet?
Yeah.
Yes.
Technically.
I mean,
Technically,
because if you
yeah.
think about it, if you look back at the Minnesota Miracle, Stephon Diggs did the same thing.
But I mean, he already scored the touchdown.
They
They
already
took the
scored the
lead, so it
game-winning
didn't
touchdown at that
really
point.
matter.
It didn't
They didn't
matter.
need the extra point.
Oh.
If you
Yeah.
remember, the fans were chanting "skull, skull, skull," and I think the kicker missed it intentionally or something like
Yeah,
that.
they just he didn't
It
matter.
didn't matter anyway. But yeah, it should have.
Green Bay, Detroit. As much as bad as Green Bay is, actually, you know what? I'm going Detroit. Maybe Matt Campbell.
Dan Campbell,
Dan
my guy.
Campbell.
Come on.
Maybe Dan Campbell. They were up
I'm
20.
going Aaron Rodgers. I ain't gonna go against him on this one.
That's fair. You know what, Jake? I'm with you this week.
Let's go.
Let's go. The Lions are 1-6. They've been very competitive in some of their games, and their
Yes.
offense is
They just
good.
can't finish.
Their defense sucks. Their defense is the worst in the league.
Just like me. Cut that.
No, keep
Cut that. Cut that. The Lions are due for a win. All right.
Yeah.
The Green Bay is on a
It's on a downward
it's
spiral.
just
Downward spiral.
crumbling.
Grumbling. Yep.
They're crumbling. All right. I got the Lions this week.
Let's go with Indianapolis, New England. Give me. You know what? I want to go New England here, but it's not Zappy football. It's not Zapland yet.
It doesn't matter.
Give me. You know what?
I'm with the Colts.
You're going the Colts?
I can't. Give me New England.
Yeah. Okay. So here's where the Colts are going to go wrong. They're starting Sam Ellinger.
He did not look
I
good.
thought-
Bill
I
Belichick.
thought Matt Ryan was still.
No,
Nope.
Matt Ryan got benched a couple weeks ago, bro.
Are you going to go New England now?
I'm going
Yeah,
New England.
I'm going New England.
Okay, we're all going New England. Next game on the slate, Buffalo Jets.
Buffalo.
Really easily, Buffalo.
Jets, Jets. No, I'm just kidding. I love the Jets. Lived in New York for
I had to give you a look, dog.
for 7 years, so the Jets are my secondary team. Bears forever though. The Jets simply are not good, and the Jets are good. Zach Wilson sucks. Zach Wilson is horrendous. I'm going Bills.
Minnesota, Washington. Give me Minnesota. There's a
Minnesota.
very good football
Minnesota.
team.
I'm surprised Minnesota's
Very
only
good
3.5
football
point favorites.
Yeah, only 3, but
That seems low.
very good. Vegas,
Washington
Jacksonville.
stinks.
Vegas, Jacksonville.
Vegas.
Boy. I feel like both these teams are due for a win. I'm going with the tie.
Okay, we're gonna
like
put it
it.
down. Tie. You're going with the Raiders.
Yes.
They look so bad against the
0
Saints.
points.
So give me Jacksonville. Give me Jacksonville. Next game on the schedule for us, Seattle, Arizona. I feel like I got as much. I want to go Arizona so badly.
I'm going with the Cardinals.
You know what? Yep, going Cardinals.
Geno Magic, baby. Let's
No.
ride, baby. Yes,
Come
sir.
on, let's ride.
Let's
Let's
ride. Seahawks country, let's ride.
I'm so glad they ain't got a game this week.
I'm so happy.
Yeah, it's really nice to not have to watch the
They
Broncos.
also don't have a primetime game until week 14, so thank the heavens for that one.
Yeah.
Los Angeles, Tampa Bay.
Oh boy, this is like the retirement home game.
Talk about the retirement home.
I'll go with TB12 for this one. Buccaneers.
Give me the Rams.
This could easily end in like a 10-9 finish.
Yeah,
This man chose the game over his marriage, so I'm going TB12.
He's married to the game.
No cap.
I'm going with the Rams. I don't trust.
The only people to take a ring from.
He's got so much going on in his head and outside of football. We apologize for everything that's happened to Tom Brady, by the way. No one really wants to go through that. But again, choices are made. Things happen. But he's got so much going on in his head right now that it's so probably hard for him to focus on football. I mean, I know that people would say then turn that and be like, he can only focus on football now. But there's so much going on in his head right now that and so much going on in his world that it's probably so hard for him to really focus on football for the first time in his entire life. So that's why I'm going Rams.
There's only 3 people that has ever taken a ring away from Tom Brady.
Oh, here we go. All
right.
Tennessee. Are you going to list them? Because I know who they are.
I know who they are.
Eli Manning. Nick Foles, and his now ex-wife.
Great.
Giselle.
Good job, man.
Tennessee, Kansas City. This is the Sunday night football game. I think this is very easy for all of us. Kansas City.
Because the Tennessee Titans are embarrassed.
I just want to make sure. I only heard Myron, so I just want to make sure.
They're embarrassed.
Baltimore, New Orleans. Roquan Smith's got a full week of preparation now. Full week to learn some plays in that defense. Roquan Smith is going to something's going to happen. Roquan Smith is going to get maybe a pick.
He's going to
a good sack, right? He's going to have a defining moment in this game. And I'm going to go with Baltimore in a very big win against New Orleans because New Orleans, with the Red Rocket, is actually a good football team.
Yeah, man. Andy Dalton, great guy. I wouldn't say great quarterback. He's a good backup.
He's an okay quarterback.
I'll go with the Ravens, though. Lamar Jackson, too good. Too big, too fast, too strong.
He's my MVP pick, so I got to ride with him. Myron?
I'm going Ravens.
All right. Perfect. Those are our picks again for this week. So hopefully, again, we returned it after a couple of weeks of being off. I want to remind you guys of our records for a little bit here. Myself, I'm 36-28, so I had a winning record, so pretty good here. Myron's got 32-32, so he's on 500. Again, this is from week 2 to 5, so only a couple weeks here to go off of it. And then our guest records. So Sam, I'll put you under that record. Right. They're 24-27 right now.
I think I can do better than that. I just have a question though.
Up it up.
What's the question?
What will happen if that game actually does tie? Do I get like 2 wins for that? Is that like double points?
Are you actually picking a tie?
I will pick a tie just for the fun of it. Has anybody ever done that?
No. You're
Myron
the first person.
Myron tried. He tried. He said tie, and then he changed his pick.
No, I'm sticking with a tie.
You're sticking with a tie.
I will stick with a tie.
And it's crazy because didn't the Texans end up tying?
Texans, no, they
Texans have a tie this year.
No, but it was the next week. It was like Texans versus, I think it was. I can go back and actually find it.
Well, I'm thinking back to the end of last year. Remember when the Chargers and the Raiders needed to tie for both of them to make the playoffs?
And somebody called a timeout.
Brandon Staley, the Chargers head coach, called a timeout, which allowed the Raiders to get more time to run a play, to get them into field goal range, for them to kick the field goal and win.
They said they were going to let the clock run out if he didn't call the timeout.
Yes.
Yep.
However, things could have gotten really weird that year if not for that happening, and the Bengals ended up making the Super Bowl. If that timeout doesn't get called, the Bengals might have not been in the Super Bowl, and the Rams might have not been Super Bowl champions.
That's crazy.
That is true. Let's move on. Talk about a little bit about World Series and White Sox manager sort of issues. To start it off, we're going to talk about World Series. Right now, the series is at 1-1, at least from the time that we are recording this. I know that a couple games are going on and stuff like that. But first reactions to World Series play. In the first 2 games, Justin Verlander sucks in the World Series. JT Realmuto is him. Bryce Harper is him. And the Phillies have all the magic in the world.
Great analysis.
Justin, the only guy that has pitched in 3 different decades in 3 different World Series.
3 different decades, 3 different World Series. Yeah, 06, 2012, and now.
Year.
Yeah.
Congratulations to
really
him.
Amazing stuff.
He's
truly
old.
Amazing.
Retire.
I said that. At the beginning of this year, or I said at one point when we were talking about playoffs and talking about MLB, that the Justin Verlander was going to be the next Nolan Ryan to pitch till he's like 45, right? Because he's just aging like fine wine. He comes back from a Tommy John surgery and he's
going to win Cy Young.
He's better and wins a Cy Young, and he's better than what he was before. And like he throws 93 miles an hour in the first inning and then throws 97 in the 7th inning. Like it's ridiculous. All right,
he's just
absolutely
bad
ridiculous.
In playoffs, World Series games.
But yeah, he's very bad in postseason. Very bad in the games. Your initial reactions. I know that I kind of had that analysis, but your initial reaction.
I feel like 1-1. I think the Astros I think I chose the Astros.
You chose the Astros.
Probably
Yeah.
would've.
I think the Astros do win this series, but I still think this Philly team continues to put up a fight, and it goes into 6 games.
All right, I like that prediction here.
I mean, you remember my prediction.
The Astros were on a
4.
I know I said
2005.
6 on my birthday.
Oh yeah.
The Astros are on a 2005 Chicago White Sox playoff run right now. They went undefeated going into the World Series. They did lose Game 1, and the Astros have never lost a Game 1, or never won a Game 1 in the World Series. So it tracks. But right now, they have 1 loss. They just need 3 more wins. I have them winning in 5.
I mean, I had the Phillies winning at 6. I said it a couple weeks ago. Phillies winning at 6 on my birthday for a birthday celebration. To have that sort of great time, we'll be rocking the Bryce Harper jersey that night. Hopefully, it will be great. Again, Bryce Harper, MVP. Let's move on though. White Sox manager.
All right. This is my.
Ozzy.
This is your guys'
no.
aspect.
Please, no.
This is your guys' aspect here.
we
Myron,
go.
you finally
You
have
wanna go?
someone's Myron, you finally have someone sitting next to you that is a White
Hey,
Sox
buddy.
fan.
I'm not saying that they should hire Ozzy.
No.
I'm not saying
Okay.
that.
They
But
better
that's-
not.
That is the biggest name that I'm hearing right now. Or Ron.
My
Is it
God.
Ron Washington?
Ron Washington, the coach. He's
Third base
the
coach.
of the-
Coach?
He's the third base coach for the
third
Braves.
base slash infielders coach for the Atlanta Braves.
Who's they're
Joe
also
Espada
looking
is
at
the best bench coach for the Astros, but he's been ruled out. There's also been guys like
Somebody
Kevin
just got
Long.
hired.
Oh yeah, he's the bench coach for the Rays. I can't say his name. I forget. It's like Quantrario. Can you look it up real quick?
I'm looking
Jake?
it up. Don't worry.
However, the White Sox are the only team right now without a manager position filled, and that
For
is
real?
still somehow an upgrade from last year.
Yeah, old guy was falling asleep.
You're not wrong.
That is an upgrade from last year. They could go into the season without a manager, and I'd say, hey, they upgraded the job. As long as it's not Ozzy, I'm a little annoyed that the White Sox waited this long because you could have had whoever you wanted. And now you're pretty much between one of like 2 guys, which is going to be Kevin Long of the Phillies. He is the hitting coach for the Phillies. Or you're going to be picking Ozzy Guillen. And I do not want a trip down memory lane again like you did with Tony La Russa.
That
You
was
know,
a joke.
Ozzy Guillen, the game, like Tony La Russa, the game has passed you by. You have not managed in over a decade, similar to Tony La Russa.
When
You have
was
no
the last
business
time
managing a team in a contending window
Yeah, they
with
don't
this
even have
core.
that.
Don't do it, for the love of God. I feel like I'm somehow better than White Sox management when it comes to these things because everything I've called with the White Sox has come true.
Ozzy Guillen, it will be the next.
If he is the
baseball.
next White Sox manager, you can find me going to Wrigley Field for many, many games this year.
He hasn't been a manager since 2012. So like
A decade.
a decade. So it's
Yes.
been 10 years since he's managed his team. I'm not gonna say he doesn't know what he's doing because he's always talking about White Sox stuff because he's always around them.
He's on the post game show and the pregame show.
You can definitely have a conversation about baseball, and I'm not going to claim he doesn't know what he's talking about with baseball. You're a professional baseball player. You have to know what's going on.
Yes.
However, you played baseball in the 80s. You managed in the early 2000s. You've been on a post-game show for the better part of half a decade or so, okay? The game has changed now. You know, you look at
way
numbers
better than-
way different now than you did back then. You're not going to be managing the same in 2005 that you are in 2022. Think of it like this, all right? Ozzy Guillen loves bunting. He talks about it quite often on the postgame show. Oh, you should bunt here, here, and here. Bunting is looked at as one of the worst possible things you can do in baseball because you're giving a free out to the other team. You know, unless you have Usain Bolt coming up, don't bunt.
All right.
I just don't know what. I just think this White Sox
personally,
team.
I think they should go with the Phillies hitting coach at this point if that's the only one available.
They have some other guys like Joe
But-
Espada, but they've ruled him out for some reason. He's the Astros bench coach. I don't know if he's going to take over once Dusty Baker retires. That could be the move.
Yeah, I believe if the Astros win, I think Dusty.
That would be a good send off for him.
good send off for him, and then he'll probably be moved up into that position there. But I would love for them to pursue Ron Washington more, and as well as probably if they're down to those 2 guys, Kevin Long.
Kevin
for
Long
that.
is my pick because it seems like the alternative is Ozzy. And if I have to watch Ozzy Guillen manage a White Sox team in 2022, I may lose my mind.
To end off the show, let's talk about NBA a little bit. More like Bulls basketball.
Well,
Sam, I know you're a
we need
huge
Lonzo.
Bulls fan.
We need Lonzo.
We need Lonzo for
We
sure.
need Lonzo.
I wouldn't say I'm a huge Bulls fan.
I
I'm a
know.
Bulls fan.
I know. I
Oh, okay. You know what? This is kind of what I expected from them to start the year. I figured they were going to be hovering around 500 for most of the year. They didn't make substantial improvements in the offseason, and we all saw what happened last year when they played actual competition.
Yep.
Got embarrassed.
Yes. DeMar DeRozan, great player. Zach LaVine, I don't know what's going on with his knee.
He's been what? He played and then he
plays like
Played
every
and
other
he-
game
yeah,
pretty much,
every other,
which
I
is
believe he's
not
going to be
great.
on a cap this year for games.
Nikola Vucevic,
Minimum restriction.
he aged
He's
like
aged.
milk. The trade happened. He was good for the rest of that season, and
Yeah.
then going into last season, dude fell off.
Very true.
Yeah, I don't know what
yeah.
it is.
P. Wills can't play basketball.
Oh, he
boy.
has to go.
He looks like a lost puppy. There, he just
They
sits in
say
the
he's supposed
corner
to be the
and he
next
just.
Kawhi. There's no way.
Yeah,
he
there's
has
no.
hands and like the size of a defensive player, but Kawhi can be a defensive player and score.
Yeah.
And he's
Patrick
just
Williams
not
isn't
that.
even a good defender.
No.
He's not even a good defender.
Yeah, it's time to let him go. I just think the last couple of years, the Bulls management has made a lot of bad decisions in draft.
I don't necessarily. No, I disagree with that. They reached with Patrick Williams at number 4, which was like it was really a 3-player draft class. You know, you had LaMelo, James Wiseman, Anthony Edwards. The Bulls just didn't luck out and get a top 3 pick. What else is new? Bulls draft luck being good. Haha.
2008.
However, they drafted Io, and then
He's good,
Dalen
yes.
Terry. They most recently drafted. I want to see more from him. Obviously, he's riding the bench right now. As you know, you got to earn your way into the rotation. But I think those are 2 guys. You know, I think Dalen Terry can be all right. You know, a good bench player. However, Io, he could be one of the top bench players in the league for the Bulls, in my opinion.
He could
He's
be-
really
he
good.
could start. I'm not
could,
gonna lie.
He could running for
Lonzo
that
comes back?
6-man.
I think. Well, we need to see where Alonzo is because if he comes back and they're like, "Oh, he's healthy now," but doesn't mean he's going to come back and play like the.
That's fair.
Lonzo.
He could come off the bench to get himself eased back into it.
He's
and
going
stuff
to.
like that.
That's how you're going
You
to
could
start
move
him
Patrick
off.
Williams to the bench because I think Lonzo has enough versatility. You could see him play a 4 if the 4 isn't the size of like Kristaps Porzingis. You know, if you know he's playing a 4 that's like the size of like a Kyle Kuzma.
True. Alonzo and a P. Will off the bench together.
No. Lonzo starts. P. Will to the bench.
Oh,
I would-
yeah,
I
P.
would
Will's
have
already
to-
going to the bench. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have to do that as well. I mean, at the same time, I would love to see what those trade offers were last year for P. Wills
Yeah, but they should have taken those.
because they should have taken those.
There was some like Jeremy Grant for Patrick Williams and a first. Not bad, but I don't think the Bulls felt they were close enough to winning a championship that you make a move like that. Not to mention, you would also have to sign Jeremy Grant to like a 20 mil. What did he do?
You didn't
4-year,
have-
80
you
mil.
didn't have to sign him.
You
after
don't
this
you don't
year.
trade your young, second-year player, 4th overall pick for that and let him walk in the offseason. You know what I mean?
Right.
There are moves you have to think about and consider. So I'm not totally mad that
trade
they didn't
deadline
trade
though,
him.
is he gone?
Probably not. Because
Probably not?
his value is going to be at an all-time low unless he suddenly explodes. But if
True.
he suddenly explodes and
If-
starts playing well, there's no
You're
reason
good.
to really trade him.
All right. Very
Now,
true.
now imagine he turns up and does what Nikola Mirotic did a few years ago, where he just went off for like 12 games straight, and he, like you said, his value goes through the roof. Then you trade him.
I feel like if the Bulls see that, they're going to say, "Oh, look, our young prospect is finally developing." They're not going to trade him. Nikola Mirotic was a guy that they probably should have traded before the season because that stretch where he did so good, it was a 7-game stretch. You know what that did? Costed us Luka Doncic. So, yeah.
That's crazy.
That's tough.
The Bulls. I still think they're a good team, but like you said, Vucevic right now is just
He's old.
Drummond.
He's old.
Drummond's
great.
looked great off the bench.
Goran
Yeah.
Dragic and Andre Drummond, I hated those signings because I'm like, they're doing nothing to really improve.
I liked the Drummond signing. Didn't like the Dragic signing
didn't
because
like that.
I liked the Drummond one because I was like, we need a big man that can get rebounds.
I didn't think he was
and
that
defend.
good, but he's
I
proven me wrong.
felt like he could be very good because I knew he wasn't going to start. Right, we're not paying him
Right.
to play 30-something minutes a game. We're paying him to play 15 minutes, 10 minutes a game, and just when he's in there, defend underneath the hoop, and get boards.
In big games, he will play more because in
But
those
he's
big
gonna do
games, you're
good
going to
in
have
those
games
games.
with guys like Joel Embiid.
Yes,
you're going to
but-
need a guy that can match up with his size and strength and ability because Vucevic cannot do that.
Vucevic
But the
That
best-
was evident
the-
last year.
The best thing though is that him not playing 30 minutes a game in the regular
Oh, his
season,
knees are going to feel great.
it's going to be fantastic for that old guy, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's going to feel fantastic for him.
That is
Speaking of
true.
old guys, Lakers suck.
Lakers, the Nets, the Warriors aren't even that good.
It's still early, I will say. However, I think there are some alarming things about the Nets and the Lakers. The Warriors, I'm not worried about. You got Steph Curry. You got a
you
deep
got teammates
young team.
punching each other. Hey,
Hey, man, you know what, Draymond? He's just a clutch. Well,
You-
he's
punched
a
that boy
plant.
into a new contract.
He's a plant. All right. The Lakers, though, boy, they are shooting historically bad from three. Get worried about the Lakers. I don't know if they're going to win
They need to blow that
30
team
games
up.
this year.
They need to make a move to go get a shooter. They don't have the draft capital to go do that. They don't have the bench capital to go do that.
Russ, two
No
first-round
one's-
picks
no
from
one's- no
trade a sixth grader for Buddy Hield.
No one's gonna
To be
trade.
honest.
No one's gonna want Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook. You know they're not gonna want him and that contract. They're not gonna want. They don't even. They're gonna have to trade first round picks way in the future.
Yeah, I'm
That's
saying
what
they
they
have
do.
no first round picks for like
They're
the
No,
next
they
first-
don't. That's why I
years.
They're
said trade a
first-round
sixth
picks with
grader.
the Pelicans.
Like literally,
I mean-
2025.
They're first round picks with the Pelicans right now.
Yes, this year. So I would say this. Russell Westbrook, not Wilson. That's a whole different story there. Russell Westbrook is in the last year of his contract. He's making $40-something million a year. If I'm a rebuilding team going nowhere, I trade my good players for Russell Westbrook's expiring contract and two firsts
No, I
from
need
the future.
like 6 first rounds.
No, just
for the
two
next
firsts
10
would be
years.
all
No,
right.
I wouldn't even say two. I mean,
That's all they have to trade.
Yeah, I mean,
That's all
you're
they have
not
to trade.
wrong with that, but
Listen, 2 first-round picks that are likely to be top picks because once LeBron is gone, what does the team have? They have no draft capital unless they somehow sign a top free agent, which I'm not really sure how the Lakers would do it. The Lakers aren't exact
because
they're
the
the
Lakers.
Lakers, but they're not the Lakers of the old. They're not
Yeah.
the Showtime Lakers. They're not the Kobe Bryant, Shaq Lakers.
They're the hurt Lakers. That's what
They're
are.
the Lakers that, after Kobe tore his Achilles, that were at the bottom of the conference year in and year out because they couldn't get anybody to pair alongside Kobe in his final years of his career.
very true, very true. Any sort of final thoughts? I also think Luka's going to win MVP. By the way,
Who's going to win MVP of the...
Luka.
Who was my pick?
Luka.
Jokic, first person to do it 3 times in a row since Larry Bird. We'll go with that.
All right.
Giannis.
Yeah, I can see Giannis as well.
I can see that as well. Yeah, I picked. I want Luka.
Because James Harden, I don't think James Harden is going to get it.
No.
KD's not going to get it.
No.
They won't be good enough, I think.
Trey Young's not going to get it.
No.
I think those are the top 3 guys to get it, unless LeBron has a...
You can probably throw in maybe
At
Joel
1 and
Embiid in
5.
there.
Yeah,
if
you could
he-
throw Steph
'cause
Curry
he-
in there maybe.
Yeah, because you could throw those guys in there. I got nothing else. Myron, you got nothing else?
No.
Sam, you got nothing else?
Had a great time.
Thank you so much for coming on. I know that you'll be on some sort of time in the future with us. I know that when it comes around to the draft time, we want you on. We want the whole kind of sports department to be on that day to kind of react to the draft and kind of talk about it
For sure.
as well. But again, that's all the way in April, so
Yeah.
got a long time for that. Byron.
And that's a wrap.